words that sound like English, regular English, but have different definitions in the legal dictionary.
Yeah.
And this is a sort of a deception that the government is using to fool people, to bringing them into their jurisdiction or into their courts, to making them believe that the courts are theirs when they're not.
Yeah.
If you were mayor, how would you change this structure or this
I think
method of control?
You have the right question, because I think because now I have legal experience, right? I'm a victim of the system, so that's the one really needed to be working very hard. The public, most people, because do not have experience with the legal system. You know, just like a few years ago, Obama, right, say our system have too deep problem, you know, called fraud, right? They have disclaimer. That's the problem, you know. They use legalized means to fraud you, you know, defraud, right? People, public.
Well, let's just say.
So that's the thing I think is, this thing is. I think that's a very big obstacle for this society to advance.
Well, how would you fix it? Would you change the education system to include legal English as a mandatory?
That take time, but we will try. You know, this is a very big issue and a serious issue for this society, because otherwise everybody think about the U.S., Canada. This is, you know, legal system are reasonable, are advanced. That's a misperception. This is I tell you one thing. This, you know. Everybody think this is a legal country. Everything have to, rely on the court, right? It is true, but what happened? The government have too much money to spend money. Like in my case, they don't give me any money. How can be a justice? Where is the justice, right?
Well, what do you mean by they didn't give you any money?
No, once they say once they charge you.
Once you're accused, yeah.
Or accused, the government destroy your defense by cutting your financial resource.
Oh yes, this is a very common practice actually,
yeah.
By the Crown.
The government have an obvious problem. They cut off all your resources.
Well,
destroy your defense.
You're accused of a Ponzi. That's a financial crime. And although you're not guilty of it or may not be guilty.
But the problem is, one thing is, they give me the bad name like Ponzi, right? That's huge, detrimental name, you know. But I have nothing to do with this Ponzi thing. Ponzi is use one investor's money to pay another, to steal money from the investor. But all the crime, most of the crime, they have motivation and evidence. In my case, there's no motivation. To prevent this happen, I wrote a book. My motivation is make money for investor. I don't take any money from the investor, one thing. The second thing, that's true, I don't take it, there's no evidence of done that. So if one thing is there's no evidence, the first thing is no motivation. The second thing is no motivation. Sorry, this is...
That's okay.
One thing is, the second thing is no evidence. So, all the process, financial process, is one investor's money or one depositor's money to pay another. You use investor's money to pay investor is a business. But use investor's money to pay investor to steal money is a crime. You have to understand this. But if in this country, you say a lot of lawyer expert or criminal expert, right? How can you forget the basic? You don't know what is motivation, what is the evidence, you don't know. One of my forensic accounting, once OSC gives the result, the data, right, document, say, how can you charge people like Ponzi without any money funded, without any evidence of, right? You cannot do this. Especially me, I managed tens of millions of dollars of money. and hundreds of investors.
What did the SEC in the United States do?
The SEC, they see there's no money, there are lots of business activity. They settle, they run away, you know.
So they didn't have any evidence to charge you. They
They
just
don't.
walked
They
away.
just go. They walk away. But the Canada, you know, because the government have too much money, too much power, they just enjoy the publicity. You know, they want their name. They find they are doing something for the public. But actually, that's not true. The U.S. the laws enforcement, in my case, they are more sophisticated, more advanced, more efficient. 10 times efficient than OSC, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think, well, it is a common belief that the OSC is pursuing you.
Yeah.
Because they've already taken your money. The courts have taken your money.
And there's no money, you know.
Right. So it'd be easy for them to win a case without you to.
You know, they hold my money. They cut all my resources. Because there's one thing is this. I have my own money. OSC flows do not give me to defend myself. The second is they don't want me work. You know that because they destroy my name, I cannot work.
So are they giving you checks to keep you alive?
They don't give me. They even destroy my life. You know.